Hello. Hi there. Today, well, first of all, my name is Paula and this is my YouTube channel. Most of the time I post videos about what it is like to be an INFP, which is what I am. And I also like to post videos about writing and anything related to literature because I also write novels under the pen name EJ Mara. Today I just wanted to briefly review a book that I recently read. I don't think it's like a new release or anything. I read it because it was free on Amazon and it looked really funny and it was really funny. It is called Whiskey Rebellion by Liliana Hart. But I can only give the book 1 star. But I have to say, before I say anything else about it, the writer, Liliana Hart, excellent writer. Like, so funny. The main character, her voice was hilarious. Um, the main character is this woman named Addison Holmes, who is I think she's an English teacher or a history teacher. She's some kind of teacher in Georgia and she doesn't make enough money and she lives in this terrible apartment, which is something I can relate to. So I was like, yes, I get this character. And she's trying to find a way to improve her life. So in addition to becoming a teacher, she decides, what's a quick way for me to get some money is maybe I can become. After she does a terrible job embarrassing herself doing a striptease and gets fired, she stumbles across a dead body. And that leads to a mystery. So it's really a mystery, but it's so funny because this woman is just like a huge klutz and kind of terrible and hilarious. So, yeah, excellent writing as far as the voice goes. I really enjoyed that. And that is the only reason I did not put this book down because there were so many other things wrong with it. Um, First of all, the book takes place in the Deep South. I've grown up in the Deep South. And one thing I can say about this part of the world is that there are lots of people of color here because a lot of slaves, dark skinned people from Africa, were brought to the Deep South to work. And a lot of our families just stayed here. So there are a lot of black people in the South. This book, I don't think had one person of color in it, and there were a lot of characters, not one. And I don't think there were no Asian people, there were no Hispanic people. It was just everyone was blonde or like alabaster skinned, or which I understand if the book took place in Iceland, I could see that, or like Norway or something. But no, you're in the deep south. There are black people everywhere. There's all kinds of people here, but not in this book, which I thought that was really strange and unrealistic. Another thing was that the main character came across as very backwards when it comes to being a woman. I'm not sure how to say this, but basically what I'm saying is at one point in the book, she got into a fight with someone and she got upset with herself and inwardly thought, I fight like a girl. I don't know if I've seen women fight and women fight horribly. Any fight is bad. There's no such, to say she fights like a girl would be to say, oh, she's a good fighter. Because when women fight, they fight. Just like when men fight, they fight. Unless they're have a problem or are weak or don't or whatever. So I don't know. It was just really, it was backwards. It felt like I was reading something that had been written by a woman from maybe the 19, no, from the 1700s at times, where she just wasn't, she wasn't modern. She viewed women as here and men as up here, which was really strange. Um, Another thing that really bothered me about this book was that the male hero, I guess, or her love interest in the story, who's supposed to be this fantastic and honorable police officer, he was like very overly aggressive and domineering, and just it was bad. It made, like, if I had been a young girl, like maybe a teenager reading this book, and when I was a teenager, I would have read a book like this because I've always liked funny books, especially like mysteries. So I would have been drawn to this and I would have read this and thought, oh, so this is okay for guys to do this. But none of it was okay. And I'm glad I'm an adult woman who knows this. Like in one scene, Addison went to a party and got into a fight. This is the fight scene with another woman where she says, I fight like a girl. And while she's in the middle of the fight, someone tases her. So she passes out. Her date to the party was her love interest. She doesn't know him very well at all. They've only known each other for like a few days and they haven't had that many conversations with each other. Um, but while she is passed out, and her best friend is also at the party, her best friend, who was a female, is at the party. But her date, who she doesn't know well, while she's passed out, brings her to her apartment, strips her naked, and puts her in bed. And when she wakes up and asks, why am I naked? How did this happen? He kind of laughs and was like, oh, yeah, I did that. And you're really hot, by the way. If that were me, I would have called, I don't care if he is a cop, I would have called the cops on him. And also, why didn't he, like, anyone with common sense, even what I would have done if the tables were turned and my date passed out and I didn't know him very well, and I get maybe he had like stuff all over his clothes or whatever, I wouldn't feel comfortable like invading his privacy. I would have said, hey, best friend who is already here, do you want to maybe undress him? Or maybe we should bring him to the hospital since he's been tased and he's unconscious. There's that too. So it was just really like not, it was safe for men to be overly aggressive and domineering. And throughout the book, this guy, the same character, did the same thing over and over again. Like she would tell him to stop kissing her and he wouldn't. She would tell him to leave. He would force his way into her apartment and like, you know, make out with her. So it's just not, that's not sexy. That's called not getting consent, which leads to very bad things. So yeah, there was just a lot wrong with this book. And it made me sad because the writing was so good. Like the author's really talented, obviously, but she just had these old fashioned, outdated principles in the book that were very difficult to swallow. So I will not be recommending that book, Whiskey Rebellion by Liliana Hart. But hopefully she's written some other books that actually have people of color in them, and that don't have overly domineering male characters who basically rape and attack women and make it seem like it's okay. All right, that is all. I think that I don't know. The last book review I did was also kind of negative. Hopefully, I will have something. Hopefully, I'll read something that's like really, really, really good, and I can give a positive book review next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.